got real emotional, and I'll tell you why.
Oh yeah, Nikki. Oh, okay. We're gonna get that. We're gonna capture that.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I should say that.
Yes, please. So Wolf, Alicia and I are one, right? When we do our intro, are we one? Yeah. Okay, and then Nikki, don't worry about looking into any of the cameras. Okay. Just have normal conversations with us. Okay. We just need a camera for our commercial break, and we need a camera for our.
I like the little eyebrow up. Look at you, Nikki.
Yes, yes, eyebrows, yes, cheekbones, yes.
Without any hair, I look like my dad.
It's like, giving though. Like,
oh my God, Dad.
It's giving great skin.
and by the way, I just want to let you know that we want to title this episode "I'm Every Woman." So just.
I'm every woman.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
This is exactly how we described you. I was like,
we were talking like just all the things.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna save it for the episode. You ready, Will?
Your intro, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay. I got this. Ready?
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. I'm Deja Riley.
And I'm Alicia Ferguson.
And you are tuning into Dose of Duality, the podcast where we dive into deep conversation, cultivating a sense of community around the state of coexistence. All right. We're back, baby.
We here. We in here.
Yes. How are you feeling, love?
I feel good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel really good today. Like the weather's kind of,
I know, right?
It's doing its thing. And normally my mood kind of like swings towards the weather, but like, I don't know. I feel like we had such a good conversation yesterday.
Yes.
And I'm just like riding on that.
I feel that. I am feeling the vibes of like a great start to a week. I was telling our guest on the way over that I know I'm not giving it away. Top secret. No, but I was telling her when I stepped into the studio that I was doing my praise and worship in the car.
Me this morning.
And I was all in. You woke me up this morning, started me on my way, and I was like, yes.
Never would have made it.
Come on.
And I said, Lord knows that's truth.
Come on. And you know we be hitting the notes on this show. But we had a real singer in the building today, so, she gonna tell us if we off key, we a little flat.
Be gentle. Be gentle with this. I'm working on it.
Right. I got vocal lessons later. But I'm so happy to be here with you, sister.
I'm so happy to be here with you as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we gotta talk about our special guest.
I thought you would let them know?
Gotta let them know. Listen, for those of you who don't know, you better ask somebody. This wonderful woman, this empowering woman, has been a personal trainer and entrepreneur for over 20 years. Over 20 years in the game, okay? Now, she is a dancer. She is an actress. She is a producer. She is a host. She is a singer. We already said she could sing, baby, okay? She is a public speaker. She is a lover. She is a mentor. And let me put a heavy emphasis on mentorship, 100%. But we're not a big fan here of telling you all who our guest is. We want to let them tell you who they are. So without further ado, Nikki Kimbrough!
I'm laughing, Deja. I'm a singer that moves well. Thanks for telling me I'm a dancer, though. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, no.
I'll put it down like you, boo.
Listen, I've seen you move, okay? We were in the same room together, hitting them steps, so I already know. Nikki, I feel like we oftentimes as people have all these labels stamped on us, right? I just like, rip down the resume a little bit. And that may be what the world knows you as. But how do you introduce yourself?
When I'm being professional, hi ladies, you look so pretty.
Thank you.
When I introduce myself like professional, I say, I'm Nikki Kimbrough. I'm CEO of Gift of a Nick, fitness expert, Broadway performer, producer, director, and something that's really meaningful for me. I own a children's theater company in Harlem called the Harlem All Stars Theater Group.
Yes.
So when I'm being professional, that's what I say. But when I'm just hanging out, I'm like, I'm Nikki Kimbrough, a girl from Richmond, Virginia.
Hey.
Visionary, your sister. That's what I say. But yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I do believe that our energy always introduces us before we do. And what I must say is that you have this incredible, like, contagious energy. Like, no one can be in a room with you and not feel joy.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, Nikki, I remember the first time I met you, and I really took notice of the fact that you have this incredible gift, this ability to make people feel loved and seen and heard and felt. And we've had conversations before, eye to eye, forehead to forehead, and just gotten to feel each other.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily always about the words, it's about the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know that every time you meet somebody new, you leave them feeling better.
Aw.
And I just admire that so much about you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's who I am. I've always been that
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
My mother, the other day I called my mom and I was going through something and I'd really put my heart on the line and I called my mom. I said, Mom, why do I feel so much? And she said, girl, you've been like that since you were 2. You've been like this since I can remember.
Yeah.
And I do love people. I like my whole mantra of my business. I help you find your fit. I help you find what makes you feel good physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
Yes.
And I help people find that modality or venture that makes them feel good.
Mhm.
And that's, I don't know, I've always been like this.
Yeah.
And in the process of being this, I've also gotten a lot of things, growing up. Is she authentic? Is she this? Is she that? And it used to bother me. I remember I used to call my mom and go, this is just who I am. I am an upbeat person. I love being joyful. However, life will start lifing and throw you some damn curve. Can I cuss on here?
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
You sure
yeah.
can.
Please do.
Damn
Let it out.
curveballs, and all of a sudden, you start to question: am I still that joyous person?
Yeah.
Am I still living life with ease? Because right now I don't feel like being that joyous person.
Yeah.
So it does make me feel good that sometimes during some of my lowest moments, I will walk in a room and people would still say I exude joy.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom would say, it's just innate. It just lives
Yeah.
within you. And so
Yeah.
thank you for noticing
Yeah.
that and seeing that.
Yes.
Because I take, that's who I am.
Yeah.
It is really
Yeah.
who I am.
Yeah.
And I used to get really upset. Like, people's like, oh, she just fake, she phony. And I'm like, nah, I'm not fake and phony. I'm like, this is who I am. And if you're
yeah.
uncomfortable with it, it took me to get older to say, if you're uncomfortable with it, that's your shit.
Yeah. It sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Yeah.
I don't have to be your cup of
Yeah.
tea.
Yeah. You lead with so much confidence.
Yeah.
And so it's like so much love and so much confidence. And I think that can be intimidating for people who are dealing with like insecurities that are their own. And so when someone's reflecting so much, you're like, that's not possible. How is it possible for someone to like show up in the world like that? Like all the time. Because like even on your low days, like I've seen you on days and like I'm like, you're exuding. And they're like, this ain't going so well. And we have a moment
like,
and there's tears being shed.
I'm at least today is the day, girl. I'll be like, ooh, girl.
I'm like, you done lit up the whole room and this is your off day? Like I can't even.
Right.
I can't
On your
imagine.
off day, it's still better than so many people's
Yes.
worst days.
Like, and I think that is like such a gift. And so what I want to do is I want to take a moment
Yes.
to set some intentions for ourselves.
Okay. Yes.
Are you with us?
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm here.
So I have my intention card deck. We're just going to take a deep breath. Everyone ground their energy. Okay. Shake it off.
Shake it
A
off.
little movement. Get the shoulders going.
Get a shimmy.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and so we're just gonna take a breath. You're gonna close your eyes, and you're going to let me say here. Let spirit move. Let spirit move, and just pick a card and draw it back. And we'll read. We'll share with each other. And so I'll let you go for a second.
Okay, pick a card. This one on the end.
Oh, okay.
And read it.
Wait.
We'll reach. Oh, we'll reach. Okay.
You can look.
I love that.
Ooh, yes, Lord. This was intentional.
Mm.
This was intentional.
Listen.
My card.
Okay, let's go. Oh.
Okay.
My card says, I am safe. Ooh, child. Wait a minute. I trust my intuition to lead me down the right path. I feel like shouting. Wait a minute.
Yes.
You run around.
Listen, we can have a praise break.
I was with Wolf earlier. He said something and I said, "Ooh, I feel like shouting." Wait a minute. I trust my intuition to lead me down the right path. Looking back on my trials, I see that I am still here and thriving. I always end up better, stronger, and wiser. I'm about to cry. I have proven to myself that I will always make it time and time again, and I am safe. Lord, if that's not a word.
Listen, it is a
Right
word.
on
Yes,
time.
I'm
yes.
strong, girl. Oh, I can't hit the notes.
Yes.
But y'all know the song.
We
Y'all
know,
know
we
the song.
know.
I tried it.
Oh my
I knew
goodness.
exactly where you were going, though.
It was good. It was good.
Oh, yes, Nikki.
This is right, y'all.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
for y'all to say, we got to talk about y'all's cards, that I exude joy. You guys know it's been, this year has been a year.
Yes.
So for you all to say that I exude joy and knowing, I did not mean to start this.
It's okay.
And knowing
Let it
what
flow.
this 2022 was like and going into the top of 2023, I am safe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am safe.
You are. Yes.
Okay.
I love that, Nikki.
I am safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can sit in that.
I am safe. And it really means a lot when you guys say that I exude joy, because 2022 was not, I'm not gonna say it wasn't a good year. 2022 was the year, you know, when Diana Ross says, I paid the cost to be the boss.
Yes.
I paid the cost to be the boss.
Oh, yes.
2022
Yes, ma'am.
showed me I paid the cost to be the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a year of growth, a year of the kitchen sink had to fall apart in so many ways.
Yeah.
With, you know, you talk about duality, the kitchen sink had to fall apart in so many ways with my personal life,
Yeah.
my professional life, really stepping into being a CEO. I have employees now, and just, you know, my mom's health was a little funny. Now she's great.
Yeah.
And just really, I don't want to say I was being tested. God was preparing me and is preparing me for the abundance and prosperity that's on the way.
Amen. Yeah.
Stand in that with you.
Yeah.
And this card was definitely to remind me I am safe, and I'm learning to trust myself.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to trust other people, but I don't necessarily trust myself.
Yeah.
And Dr. Akua told me, girl, trust yourself, you know.
That's good.
So thank you for this.
Yeah.
That's really good. Trust yourself.
Yeah. I love that. I love that so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for even sharing.
I didn't
like
even mean
that.
to go there. I'm sorry.
No, but it was just it was so raw.
Mm-hmm.
So like, thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for
I feel
having me.
that. Alicia, you know, I pulled this card when we had our conversation with Eric.
Must be echoing back to you.
I know. So I'm like, this is confirmation.
Yes.
I am worry-free. I release worry over things I cannot control. Instead, I choose to focus on things that are pleasing to me. When I release worry, I allow room for solutions to enter my life. I am worry-free.
Yes.
We already know it's a word.
We already
so
know it's a word.
There it is. There it is. Yes, I'm stepping
It's like
into
trying
that.
to solidify. I said,
It
if you
is,
don't
right?
affirm that for yourself. Yeah.
I'm going to put it in your hand again.
Deep breath. You got that.
Yeah, I received that. I received that.
When you blew out, I like felt it just like dissipating.
Yeah.
I'm aware, y'all. When I pay attention to my surroundings, I can feel appreciation for everything. I see so much beauty in the world. Being aware means living in the present and fully experiencing my life in the here and now. I am aware. And I receive that. That one thing I've been really like working with is just being present.
Yeah.
And all the things that are happening in my life. And sometimes it's so easy to go, what's next? How should I move? Let me be so forward thinking as opposed to just like being in it, breathing in it.
Yeah.
Seeing, feeling the people that are around me, like feeling the appreciation. So can people say you're joyful or they're like, oh, this is about you. And you're like, oh, thank you. But like really receive that. Like let it like settle in the body. Like sometimes I feel like I can have like a rubber skin where like I can receive the compliment, but it sits there. And I don't always let it absorb. And so I've been working on just receive.
Yeah.
Be present with it.
I like that.
So I'm receiving this. Yeah.
Yes. I am safe. I am worry-free. I am aware. Love. Love, love, love. Well, now that we broke the ice, we started to dig a little bit into where we want to go today. Nikki, I'm going to ask you to take it back. Like, take it back, you know?
Okay.
I think that we would all love to know who little Nikki was.
Ooh.
I want to know a little bit about your upbringing and talk about Miss Pat. we want to hear all the things. Like, how did Nikki get here?
Well, I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, born and raised. It's funny. When I was a little girl, you know, I'm a performer and athlete. When I was a little girl, I used to sing in the church choir.
Yes.
You know, and I was known as the little girl with the big voice.
Yes.
And my mom thought that every kid like sing on key. You know, she's like, I thought every kid sing on key until she was like, maybe they don't. And I remember I sing Got the Whole World in His Hands. That was my little solo. And I remember the first time I heard they had a little drum with me. And I was like, he got the little bitty baby.
Yes.
I was like, hey, my grandma looking at me like, can you stop dancing up there? And I'm like, and that's when things started elevating. And then I was in a program called EPA in Richmond Public School System. And I had this really great teacher named Mr. Yarbrough, Gary Yarbrough. And he told my mom, she's talented. And he was a graduate student at VCU. And he would have me and my friend Jewel Hicks come and be the little kids in their programs. And then, look, I'm about to date myself. I saw the movie Annie. And I was like so excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So one day, this is when they still had the newspaper. I'm eating cereal before I go to school. I would read the entertainment section. I'm reading the entertainment section. And they had auditions for Annie in my hometown at the Haymarket Dinner Theater in Mechanicsville, Virginia. And I said, Mommy,
how old were you at this point?
I'm like 7.
Reading the newspaper.
Reading the newspaper. The entertainment section.
Just like an old soul.
Eating my cereal. Like, Mommy, I gotta go. And she talked to Mr. Yarbrough. Mr. Yarbrough goes, let her go. And my mom is a retired educator. At the time, her principal was saying, let her go. So we went. And like, I have like it's on my Instagram, probably my archive somewhere, but my mom went and I got my little hair done by Charlene. I had my little hair flipped up and I have my hair under and this little outfit on. And out of all of these kids, I was the only Black girl there. And I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I went, you know, it was the first time I had to learn my little 16 bars and they wanted me to sing the whole song. And I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And then my mom got a call and I got called back. And this time I wanted to wear my tap shoes and my little I wear one jumpsuit anyway, these little overalls. And this time Mom had my hair in the pigtails and we had to dance and sing. And I remember they had us all in one line and they were like, we had to sing It's a Hard Knock Life. I remember like it was yesterday. I was like, it's a hard knock.
She sang that song hard.
And my mom said everyone in the audience was like, who's this little girl? And then they lined us all up. And my mother said she knew if they were fair, I was going to get it. Because, you know, technically back in the Depression era, there weren't any Black kids in the orphanage. My mom said, she's fair. She's going to get it. And I got it. And I played Orphan Tessie. And it was my first little job. My mom opened up a checking account for me. And I was like, I had it all through the summer and through the fall and like the early part of the winter. And after I was done, I said, Mom, I'm going to move to where the Statue of Liberty lives and I'm going to be on Broadway.
Yes.
Speak life.
This little baby with big dreams. I'm sure.
I'm going to be on Broadway. And my mom goes, oh, okay. And I do want to share this with y'all. My opening night, and I was 7 years old. I ended up turning 8 during the show. My mom bought me an Annie doll. So I didn't know what happened to this doll. Fast forward, when I made my Broadway debut in my 30s. My mom was there. And she had a gift left at the back door for me. And she says, make sure you open this. Don't open this. She knows me. I put all my makeup on and my dress on, and she was like, I will open the gift. I didn't follow directions. I opened the gift. It was that matted Annie doll from 30 years ago.
Oh, Nikki.
And look at me. And the note said, I always knew you would make it to Broadway.
Oh.
She saved it. That was her intention. She said, my child would make it, and I'm going to save this doll. And I didn't know it was going to take that long, but it did, but it did. And my mom saved it. But, and then just to fast forward, I we also found out in the 4th and 5th grade that I was really fast. I ended up being in a citywide field day. The 4th grade, I won the 50-yard dash through the entire city. And then in the 5th grade, I remember I was mad. I said, Mom, they got me jumping. And Mom, I was like, I want to run. My mom goes, well, Nikki, jump for me. And I remember I was in the dining room, and I jumped from the dining room to the kitchen sink in the kitchen. And my mom always says, if the sink wasn't there, she would have jumped through. My mom goes, well, no wonder they got you jumping. And I went and I won the city. And I didn't realize that. And then we moved to the county, we moved to the suburbs. And then I ended up middle school. I ended up being one of the fastest kids in the county.
Yeah.
High school was it. Like I ended up being like one of the main kids they were looking, to run. But in the process, I was in show choir and I was singing and dancing. I was a cheerleader. I could do it all. My teachers would make exceptions because I was good in it. And then I got offered a full track and field scholarship. I narrowed down, and I ended up going to UVA. Go Who's, wahoo wah. And I'm very proud of that. And when I got to UVA, they were paying for me to go to school.
Yeah.
And it was track. And that was it. And I tried to be in this dance team called Mahogany. I broke my toe. My coach was like, cat, cat, cat. Go, go. And, but I ended up running. But I would find ways. I would audit like voice lessons, or I would sneak and take dance classes off campus once I got a car after my junior year. And then, it turned into so many things. So, yeah.
Oh, Nikki.
I know.
I mean, and as I listen to your story, and I'm sure you've got this too, Alicia, I hear so many parallels, right?
Yeah.
We're both from Virginia.
Yes, yes.
And when you told the story about Annie, I thought about Adrienne Warren.
Adrienne Warren.
So she
my
was
boo.
our city in Virginia Beach, our city's first Black Annie.
I know, yeah.
And that was like, the catapult in her career. And then she went off also doing Broadway.
Uh-huh.
And I hear you talk about being the only, like the token Black girl in a white space. And that for me, like, it's very vivid imagery that comes to mind. I went to private school the majority of my life, Cape Henry Collegiate School, shout out to that amazing school. I really loved it, and I felt welcomed.
Yeah.
And I felt, I didn't feel isolated, though I was one of the only, right? And so as I hear you talk about that, as I hear you talk about being tokenized in a sense, how did you not let your light be dimmed? How did you still show up as Nikki, though you were in those spaces? And obviously you're looking around, there's no one that looks like you,
right. That's such a great question. I have to say it was Miss Pat. It was my mother. Because when we moved from the city, I was, with the Black kids, we were in there.
Yeah.
And then when we moved to the county, Chesterfield County, it was the first time I walked into a school space. Not I was used to being in the theater, being the only Black person. But it was the first time I walked into a classroom, and they all looked at me. I was like, oh, am I supposed to be here? They looked at me like, who's she? Who's she?
It says I'm supposed to be here.
And I walk in, and I remember white kids were whispering. I'm Generation X. I'm like right at the end. And the Black kids were in there, and they're like, "Who's the new girl?" And I'm in there, and I'll never forget. They said they had SCA representative in your class, right? And no one was raising their hand. Barbara Kumpf raised her hand. Shout out to Barbara Kumpf.
Wherever you're at, Barbara.
And I raised my hand, and everybody was like, who's she? And I just raised my hand because my mom was, I was so used to being the first, and I was, just to raise your hand.
Yeah.
And I remember I lost, and it was like, okay, never lost again. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But being in that space, it was my mom, because when I first moved there, remember I told you about the authentic thing? It was like white kids were kind of like, well, who is she? And then, I was smart, so I was in the top classes, and it was only a few of us in there. And the Black kids would say that, I hate that shit. She want to be white and all this stuff. And I'm like, come on, I know y'all. I know every
the
Black
way you sound
has already, and because I was friends with the white kids because they were in my class, and so I got that. And then I ended up being a cheerleader. I was one of the only Black girls on the cheerleading squad in middle school, but it was funny when I became a cheerleader. The white kids started to like me. But let me tell you what happened. When I started running track, the Black kids were like, oh, well, who is this? And it's sad to say that it was my talent that made people open their eyes, young kids open their eyes to see, well, let's see what she's about. Let's invite Nikki to the slumber party.
Yeah.
And you go to the slumber party and everybody goes, oh, you're so nice, you're so cool. I thought you were this. And I was like, I'm just me. I exude joy. I do this, I do that. And I do have to say, and I hate to say it, but it was almost like my talent was the thing that got my peers' attention to get to know who I was.
Yeah.
And when I look back, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I couldn't, as kids, I couldn't just walk in and be me.
Yeah.
And it was the fact that I was this cheerleader and I could sing and I could dance, and then I beat your ass on the track, and it was like everybody was like, oh, well, let's see what she's about. Hey. And then when they got to see who I was about, it was that. So that's some of the things that I had to navigate in that space.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, it sounds like a maturity thing though, because like you might have been more mature than your peers, because sometimes if you're not mature enough, you have to like give people an intro, and then it's like, but then this is the real meat behind it. So I'm gonna show up with this like fun, frilly thing that you are attracted to, and then this is like the opportunity to show people who you really are.
Yeah.
And so you just might have been. It sounds like your mom did an amazing job raising you.
Yeah. She was amazing, because I would go home and be like, they don't like me. Like, the white kids don't like me. The Black kids don't like me. And one day they all started to like me. And I was like, whoa. But mom was really great. And I don't know if that was the educator in her. And she would really instill in me, why am I about to cry?
No, talk
Let it out, though. We are not holding back today.
She would really instill in me, you is smart, you is kind.
Yes.
Like she would really say that to me, and really, and being a little brown girl in Richmond, Virginia, in Chesapeake County, she really would. I give my hat off to Miss freaking Pat and my aunts and my grandmother. They were my first girlfriends, my first playmates, and I really came from a strong group of women, and I watched these women compliment each other every day. I watched them affirm each other every day. So when I walked into this school and people were looking at me funny, I was like, well, what? But then it shifted. I ended up being that, once people got to know me, I ended up being that person that would affirm people and love on people, because that's what I came from. And it escalated. It ended up going into high school. I was the first Black girl to be the homecoming and prom queen in the history of my school that's been built since 1920s. And it was, I didn't realize this until I got inducted into my high school Hall of Fame years.
Shout outs to that. Don't just breeze over that one.
As an adult and being at an age where, I could be a parent, I was kind of like, they were naming what I did. And I was like, okay. All right. And it wasn't till then where I realized why the teachers and why the people like really saw something special in me until I read that. I got this award in high school called the Distinguished Lancer. And it usually goes to someone that's like in the top 3 of the class. And I wasn't in the top 3, but I was up there, in the top 3. But it came to me, and my principal said that I was a big part of integrating the activities. I was like the first Black girl in some of the activities, what made my other Black girlfriends go, well, I can do this. So by the time I'm a senior in high school, whereas it used to just be one of us on the cheerleading squad, it's 6 of us. Where it was just one person in the show choir group, it's 15 of us, the guys and the girls, and so they said that I had a big part in that, and I didn't see it at the time until I became older, and I was just, and all I was doing was being me,
that's the words that came to me.
After what I wanted, and having a mom that was ushering me to do what I want since I was a little girl. I was that little girl that said I wanted to go try out for Annie. That's what I did with everything I did, and by doing that, it opened up, and then. The other accolade I was really proud of, and I didn't know this back then, I was the first non-revenue athlete and to get a full to get a full scholarship to Division I school. I was the first non-revenue female athlete, I think. I don't think it was all over. It could have been.
What does that mean, the non-revenue?
So basketball and football get all the money.
Oh, got
and
you.
so the, track and soccer
Okay.
were considered non-revenue sports. And there had never been a person in the history of the school that was in a non-revenue sport to get a full track and field scholarship. And I didn't know that until I went back, and I was like, yeah, bitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I didn't win. And I'm just thinking about it right now. When I was there, I was just being me.
you.
I was being that 7-year-old girl that went in, and then things happened. It wasn't like I was like, I'm gonna go get this. I'm gonna go get that.
Yeah.
But it's sad that it was my talent that got people's attention to get to know me. But I'm grateful for it too.
But Nikki, I say it was less of your talent and more of your gift.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Because you have many talents, okay? So like, to even just diminish it to be just the talent.
Mhm.
No, it's your gift.
Yeah.
You have this gift to open up doors. You have this gift to open up hearts and open up
Thank
minds.
you.
That can't be taught. A talent can be taught.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I
You
love
know?
that.
Yeah.
I received that.
Yeah.
It's true
I'm like,
though.
Alicia, I received that.
So that's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's so commendable
Mhm.
that you constantly, without even thinking about it, you just, I'm gonna just open up the door.
The gifts are almost like it's the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the vehicle that got you to open
Yeah.
up these doors. Because
Yeah.
like the purpose, right? Your real purpose is like breaking these barriers. Like you've pioneered since you were like 7 years old. Like that is, that's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
And I think that's insane. You were doing it before you even knew what you were doing. It was just like in your heart. And you were just leading with that. And like I keep hearing your mom just kind of like gave you this like endless possibility where you didn't have a ceiling or a floor.
I didn't.
Like that didn't exist to you. So when you had an idea, like your mom, your aunties, your family, like they kept affirming, like, yes, you can. You can do all these things. And so in the midst of like predominantly white institutions and schools, and like that can be really intimidating.
Yeah.
Especially as a child.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're the first integrating it, it's like, I want to be first. Come on, there's someone that looks like me. And you're just in there raising your hand because you're not even thinking like that there's like it should be anything else but that.
Yeah.
And I think that's so special. And when I keep seeing how you shine right now, we were having this conversation.
Yeah, we were.
I was like, we've had these shared experiences of like having these big bright lights, and people are like, oh, you're so bold and you do these things. And it's like, I don't think we were raised with the ceiling or the floor because our parents instilled that in us. Like, you're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You're amazing. You're wonderful.
You
You're
can do
divinely
anything.
created, right? Like purpose is inside of you.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't necessarily the affirmations from the world. It's like, I got that at home first.
Yeah.
Like I was nurtured by, like I knew who I was.
Yeah.
So when I was able to step into these other atmospheres, like we carried that with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like when we like all the things that we labeled about you, these like gifts and talents, like that's courage.
Yes.
And you were doing it
received
before.
that.
Like times have changed a little bit now where like there's more representation. So it's easier to see yourself in spaces and know that it's possible.
Yep.
But like it wasn't. Like you were the first to like open up some of these spaces for us to know that it's possible.
100%.
And I received that. And like you said, I didn't realize it at the
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
Like until I got that award was the first time but then it wasn't until I got older.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And you're right. You have these, my mom didn't give me a ceiling or a floor.
Yeah.
And I still kind of reside in that space now. Sometimes I get in trouble. I jump off the plane without a parachute. And I be like,
But she always lands on her feet, baby.
Yes.
Okay.
And I be like, okay, God.
Listen, Nikki, all that you have done and all that has led you to this moment is truly, I mean, like, I don't even know if I can sum it up, but I think what you stated at the beginning of she paid the cost to be the boss, you did that.
Yes.
And we're going to hear a little bit more about that when we come right back from this commercial break. So, Alicia, let's talk about Lululemon. Many may already know that it's an athletic and footwear brand built for run, train, yoga, and so much more. But what they may not know, and we can attest to as proud Lululemon ambassadors, is that it's a brand that puts people before product.
Yeah. And as creators, we dream real big. And so Lululemon has really championed and supported us, honestly, every step of the way. And so whether it's creating an intimate poetry show or training for the New York Marathon, soon to come, or whether the vision is to create a 2-day interactive wellness festival for Black History Month, or this podcast, which is amplifying 2 of its Black ambassadors and many others, Lululemon has really partnered with us to help build our dreams. And so we just want to say thank you and sending so much love to our Lulu team. Hello, friends. You are back with a dose of duality, and we are here with our very special guest, Nikki Kimbrough.
Yes.
This conversation has been so nurturing.
It has, right?
Like,
I feel the nourishment.
it's just like it's infectious. The joy that it's being like emulated from you.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
I feel that.
I receive that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it because I feel good being here with y'all. Like, I'm so proud to know you.
Mm.
And I remember first time I met Alicia, I was like, who is this? I was like, I'm loving this little pretty brown girl. Who are you? And just knowing your background and the coffee shop and the yoga and the entrepreneur, I was like, yes, honey. I'm so proud of you. Like, I'm so proud of the Take Space that you and Eric curated. And I'm just so happy to know you. Like, every time I see you, I'm like,
I
Alicia!
receive it.
You know, and it's great. And I was sharing with you earlier, and I wanted to say this. And, you know, I knew who Deja Riley was. And when I saw you on the face of that Chargeville campaign,
Come on.
I had tears streaming down my face. I've been wearing Lululemon since 2002.
Yeah.
Before I got to New York.
Oh,
One
wow.
of my best friends is from Mississauga, right outside of Toronto in Canada.
Okay.
She introduced it to me when I was a spokesperson for Bally Total Fitness. And I had Bally get Lululemon from Canada and put the Bally logo on it when I was in my 20s when I first moved to New York. Wasn't here at all.
Yeah.
So to watch, like, I'm very proud of Lululemon. I know people say stuff. Yeah, you know, being a CEO, being an entrepreneur, I know how it feels. Sometimes the kitchen sink has to fall out for you to wake up and realize this and that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lululemon has done that. I mean, look at the Black ambassador.
Listen, okay,
Let's go.
okay.
Look at Take Space.
We are here.
Look at
We are
us.
living proof.
We are
Yes.
living proof. And they are really shifting. And I love it. So when I saw you, I was like, I had tears running down my face.
Mhm.
And so when I said, I want to meet Deja Riley, and they were like, Nikki, she's going to be teaching the Chargeville class. And when I came up to you, I was so proud of you. And
Thank
I
you.
was like, I was proud of you. I was proud of Lululemon.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm really close to Pauline. And I was like, yes, Deja, Black girl with your foot up on Fifth Avenue in the front of the store. And then when we met, we just were like,
Oof. Light sees light.
yeah.
I could feel that.
And then when Adrian was there, and she was like, you know, I was just like, you know, so I'm so happy to be here with both of you. I love you. You're such bright lights. You're leaders. You're amazing women. And I'm excited to have a front row seat on where you guys are going. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited for that.
Thank you.
Like, really,
Thank you.
really, really, really. So thank you for having me.
I'm gonna speak for both of us, but you can
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. You are I haven't called you mentor to your face,
Yep.
right?
You're speaking for me too.
But okay, but like you are a mentor for us. The way that you navigate so gracefully
Yeah.
in an industry that is very challenging, the way that you show up authentically, just like you all the time, like whether it's like good or bad, it's like it's you though,
Yes.
right? And you lead with so much love. And then also on the personal level, like you share very candidly
Yeah, I do.
about
Yes.
the challenges that are
Mhm.
happening. And so you don't paint this like Instagram picture of like, I've been in the industry 20 years and I know this person, I've done this and this and this. It's like, and I fell on my face more than a few times.
Falling on the face.
And I stayed and then I got up and this is how I've navigated. But that's so helpful for us because like, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, like if Nikki could do it, then I could do it.
Yes.
Like if she's like that resilient, like, all right, let's dig up some resiliency,
Yeah.
right? Or even just have a conversation with you to be like, help me be resilient.
Right.
Like, help me.
No, but for real though,
Yeah.
I've looked to you for that too. I'm like, everything, I echo everything
Yeah.
that Alicia is saying. you are a pioneer.
Oh, thank
And
you.
when we talk about opening those doors, it's not just in the physical realm and the obvious doors of this talent is walking through the door. These gifts are walking through the door. The spirit in the spiritual realm.
Wow.
Like you've already told me many stories that have resonated so deeply with me that help me to see that it's going to be okay.
Yes.
And sometimes that's really all we need, like when you walked up to me at Take Space Festival and you put your forehead to my forehead and you shared that story about one of your best friends with you.
Yeah.
And you know what I've been currently navigating.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, like I actually can see not the end, but like I can see, a better tomorrow for the situation that I'm in.
Right.
You instilled so much hope in me that it will get better, that it will be okay.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
it really is.
And you said that to me. And honestly, I was like, I believe her.
Yeah. You're like walking
Nikki
proof
said,
of it though right now, right?
Yeah.
Like I can see that it got better.
Yep.
And I have good mentors. Like I remember being in my 20s and I had this show called the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew where we honor the voice of the everyday woman. And a couple of my mentors are the women that are on the show. And one particular name's Crystal James Goodwin. And I'm going to shout her out because I know she's going to listen. She was a mentor to me. And to now, she was in her 30s. I was in my 20s and I'm in my 30s. And she's over now. She's a woman in her 50s. I'm in my 40s. It's like, I always tell my friend Brittany, she's like, Nikki. I said, girl, this is all Crystal and Angie. I'm just regurgitating what they said to me when I was in my 20s and my 30s. I'm just regurgitating. However, it's funny, y'all. When I was in school, I felt like everything I touched turned to gold.
Yeah.
Then life really started life.
Talk about it.
And shit won't turn into gold no more. It won't even silver, it won't even bronze.
Do I touch it again? I touch it 3 times. Will it turn?
It won't even silver, it won't even bronze. And that's when my whole mindset about my whole fitness journey started shifting. When I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I was a size 4 with my Lululemon pants, the original groove pants. I was cute.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden, 4 went to a 6, to a 8, to a 10, to a 12. It just, and life started life. And I remember when I hit 40 and just things were shifting. Life had gone through a lot of stuff. And I said, I know how to release this weight. What is going on? And I realized that I wasn't feeling good emotionally and spiritually. Something was wrong, but I kept ignoring it, shifting it under the rug.
Yeah.
And God would get your attention. I shared with you guys, I'm going through a breakup. I was with the same person for 12 years and lost sight of myself. I'm really big on now making sure we put ourselves first.
Yeah.
And when I say put ourselves first, I'm not just talking about as a woman, put me first. Men too, put yourself first.
Yeah.
I had lost so much sight of myself. I forgot what my favorite color was. It's yellow.
Yes.
Yellow and orange and red sometimes. I don't regret the relationship. I don't regret it at all. I'm actually in a space now where I am grateful. I was sad and I am grateful. Good guy, not my guy. And, you do go through a space where you're like, oh my God, I've been the same person for 12 years. I'm not married. I don't have any children. I'm staring 50 and I got a couple more years in the face, but it's the reality of also going through now, accepting the fact that I may not have children.
Yeah. Yeah.
I may not. Just what statistically what life is, and I'm just kind of like, so that hurts my feelings sometimes when I sit down and think about it. And just when I go back to like my mantra, I used to be like, oh, it's all about the physical. I remember I used to train my clients. They used to tell me what's going on. I used to say to myself, girl, why you eating? Just put it down. But now I get it. It's deeper than that. I say it's deeper than push-ups and squats. I realized once I started hitting here, that's when the weight started to release. But then also I was kind of like some of this booty and some of these boobs I got.
Yeah. Right?
Can we keep those? Might keep that. But it's just life started life. But guess what I realized? I don't want everything to touch gold. I want things to be diamond, honey. I want it to be bigger than that. Like the goals and the visions that I have now, baby. Puts that shit that I was thinking about. I mean, the shit that I was thinking about back then got me here. But it puts the stuff, like the visions and the goals that I have now surpass anything that I ever thought. And I was telling Deja, I listened to Bishop T.D. Jakes or Joel Osteen or something positive. And when they said, be bold and ask big, that's what I've been doing lately. Be bold and ask big. Because I did go like this.
Come boldly to the throne of grace.
Curled up in a ball and put someone else's needs before mine. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Because I was sharing with Wolf earlier. Engineer. Is that Wolf is?
Wolf's supposed to be running the camera.
I was sharing with Wolf earlier that the breakup and also talking to my fellow guy friends has made me realize the wife I want to be. You know, I don't know if I was ready. Deja, you're married. I thought I was ready. But I also realized too, he did his shit. I know Brittany over there like, that's my best friend, you know. And but he did his shit. But I also realized what I did to support the ending of the relationship. And I realized that opened my eyes. And I realized who I want to be, what I want to be. And I'm grateful. I wasn't 6 months ago, though. 6 months ago, I was crying and cussing people out and sad and not having a good day. And I remember walking into, and I still have my days. A couple weeks ago, I walked into my home Lululemon store, and the store manager, Brittany, goes, Nikki, you okay? I was like, I'm not having a good day. And she goes, okay, it's okay. I said, I'm not having a good day. She says, well, you look good. I was like, I'm not having a good day. And I had tears coming down my face. And she put me in her dressing room and she sat with me and, you know, and talked to me for a little bit. But I was like, I'm not having a good day. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm not having a good day. Whereas back in the day, I would pretend and put it on. Tap dance for the people because it makes everybody feel better. Because when Nikki's down, nobody knows what to do. Now I'm in a space in my life. I'm human. I get down, check it, create a space for me because I create a space for you. If you can't create a space for me, that's okay. But I'm not going to allow myself to tap dance anymore when I don't feel like tap dancing. You know what I mean? And that's me being authentic.
I love that.
This, like, so you shared a lot about your relationship. And so the first time I heard you even speaking about it was at this, do a conversation talk series about love, dating, and mindfulness. And you shared, and the one thing that I just love so much about you is your vulnerability. And so in this room of like Black and brown folks, and you're just like, I'm gonna help minister to y'all. Like I'm a little older, and so I've been through and I've done the things. And so like I'm sharing this to help you. And so how I really resonated, because you said that relationship was like 12 years, right? So I haven't had a 12-year, but I had a 6-year. And it just felt so monumental. And you felt like you're in this routine and this is the person you're probably gonna marry. That's what I assumed. And you get to a point where you realize it's not working. It's just not working. And it's easier really to stay.
Girl.
That's the easy piece right there. Because like family and friends and we have routines intertwined, and you chose you.
I did choose me, but I was forced to choose me. And what I want to say to people out there, I always say, God, I want to get to a point where I'm choosing me and the kitchen sink doesn't have to fall out before I choose me. That's you know, my boyfriend in 2012 was in an awful motorcycle accident. You know this. And in order to save his life, they amputate his leg above the knee. And I mean, he's doing great. I mean, triathlons, all kinds of stuff. And but I put my life on hold because that's what you do. I saw my aunt passed away from ALS, from Lou Gehrig's disease, in my 20s, and I saw my family. I learned the definition of in sickness and in health. You know, I saw my family go, we gonna rally, this is what we do. So when your boo get hurt, you rally, this is what you do. And you know, and everybody saw it, but at the time, I was being me. I was being what Miss Pat taught me, what Ruth and Sibby and my grandmother taught me. And that's just what we do. Like people are like, oh my God, like his mom, who I'm still very close with to this day, and his sister, oh, Nikki, this. And I'm like, well, that's what you do when you're in love with someone. You don't leave them. And, you know, we went through stuff and I was there and I put I was up for a finalist for Dolores Van Cartier for the Sister Act tour. Taria got it. And Taria's now, love her. She's now Angelica on the Hamilton tour. And I remember I was up for that. And I remember Alan Menken in my final audition comes up to me and says, Nikki, you can't do this. Because Billy was in a coma for, look, I'm dropping names. was in a coma he was in a coma when he first happened. And, like, he died and came back to life and all this. It was a mess. And he was like, you gotta stay. And I busted out crying. This man, this big time Broadway composer, just hugged me. And I was like, I can't go. And I put my life on hold for a while. And you know, I ended up going to Broadway, and we ended up breaking up for a minute and got back together. And then in 2018, he almost he had a really bad infection and almost died. And that's when I was just like, oh, I'm tired. I can't do this. And I stepped away from Broadway. I stepped away from everything because I was tired and I didn't know what was happening. And then finally, I'm starting to get my mojo back. I'm singing with Orphe and Andy. You know, I now sing with Kristen Chenoweth, and it's great. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic happened. And that was the best thing that happened to me. That quarantine, not the pandemic, but the quarantine was the best thing that happened to me because it made me stop, and it made me go, bitch, you about to have a nervous breakdown. You know, you pretending like everything's okay. You tap dancing. And that moment and me being forced, like everyone else, to stand still made me realize I'm tired. I'm not putting me first. It wasn't the first time. It was like the second or third time I looked and went, is this the right person for me? But like you said, our families are intertwined. We look good together. We got a podcast together called The Amputee and His Girl. It's cute. We get along. We sing together. And so I applaud him now for doing what was best for him. At the time, I did not feel like that. And he came to me and he said, Nick, I love you to death. I don't want to do this anymore. And he says, I'm you know, I got my mojo back now. I helped him get his mojo back. I did. You know, but he says, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have any children. And I just found out that I was one of those 2% that could still have children. And it's like,
you better be in the 2%.
You know, and I was like, okay, you know, as I get older. And he was like, I don't want to do that. And I was like, okay. And at first I didn't know what I wanted. And then Easter Sunday came. I sang with Kristen. I came back. I walked in. And he said, we going to church? I said, no, we need to talk. And I said, if you don't know if you want to be with me after 12 years, I got to go. And that was it.
You just said it?
I said it. I said, I got to go. Because we still were like, you know, I was like, I got to go. I'm not doing this. And at the time I was like, I'm not doing this. But, you know, and I went through the things, and what I realized, he had been disconnected from me for a while. And because it was like, I'm like, what? You dating? What the hell? You know? But he had been disconnected from me for a while. But I do, like I said, not my guy, good guy. I thank him for realizing. Because I think, honestly, y'all, I might have been 50. And looking up and going, this ain't it. And I applaud him for having the courage to do what works for him. We just want two different things. We want two different things in life. And it made me go, it's time for me to really choose me instead of talking about it. Instead of talking about it, I'm going to put me first. I'm going to find my fit. No, I'm literally right now practicing what I preach. The reason I can help my clients find their fit, because I'm trying to find my fit. I'm trying to find what feels good for me now as a woman in my mid-40s on how I feel good. And that's what I say. I want people to get to a point, especially my women, when you know, take a look at it. Take a effing look at it. And I know it's scary, but take a look at it. And don't worry about what everybody else gonna think and everybody else gonna say. I know it's different when you have children and all that stuff. I will say that. But take a look at it. And don't let the kitchen sink fall out for you to make a decision. I would do that in my business too. Like sometimes I'd be like, okay, I know this ain't right, but we're gonna let the kitchen sink fall out. And then I'm like, Ma.
Right.
You know, so that's my thing. I don't want people in general, especially my women, when you know, check in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Check in with
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Check in with yourself.
Yeah.
It feels like it goes back to the idea of us trusting ourselves more and
Yep.
having that like awareness and
Yep.
like taking that time to like be with ourselves in those silent moments and just being in discovery of like, what do we like? What do we not like? Like still being connected to your sisterhood.
Yeah.
Like in the midst of these relationships that we're encountering, because it does, for me, same thing. It was like so all encompassing.
Yeah.
Like when we split, it was like simple things. I was like, I don't have to buy this expensive Tom's toothpaste. I don't want to spend $8. I'm going to get this $2 Colgate. In fact, feel great about myself.
Yes. I'm not going to buy
And
the
it's so
recycle
simple.
bags and the regular bags. I'm just going to buy large trash bags. Yes.
But like, I love that. I love that you said that, like leaning into your intuition. You know what I mean? And it's not that we don't know that it's there. Oftentimes we're just ignoring it. We're stuffing down the stuff, right? We're just pushing it down. We're suppressing it. We're ignoring it. And I love that you chose you in such a bold way, but I also love that the love is still there.
It is.
I think that is, you are such a beacon of light, a beacon of hope, an example of love. And even as you tell the story, like there's so much love. The foundation was love.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
You know? And you came out on the other side, and though you chose you and you're leaning into your own self-love, you didn't strip away the love that you have
Right.
for this man that you spent 12 years of your life with.
Yeah.
That's admirable. I love that you told that story. And whether it is a romantic breakup or a friendship breakup or whatever the case may be, like you are walking inspiration for people.
Oh,
like
thank you.
I love when you just tell the story. Like that's another thing, Nikki. You're such a like a beautiful storyteller.
Yes.
You know? And I'm
It's
like,
warm and textured, and there's so many details and colors in it. No, it's vibrant. It's vibrant. We're like captivated. Like
literally,
tell me
two
more.
little squirrels on the
Tell
couch.
me
Like,
more.
can you just
Keep going.
pour out your whole life on the floor? We'll just sit here and listen.
No, but really.
But really, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what you do for the community, what you are doing for Black women, for Black people, is honestly just so beautiful and so real, and you make it feel so tangible. I think that's another thing, is like you remind us that it's within reach.
It is. Thank you. It really is. And you motivate me. You know, I'm Generation X. We y'all millennials. Z.
Yeah, we're
millennials.
Yeah, we
I'll be
millennials.
coming like, what? I came through the door. I said it before. You know, I'm like, and it's inspiring to me.
Yeah.
So watching millennials and especially these Z's, I don't know, they just be saying it.
Oh,
honey. I'll
yeah.
be like, ooh.
Yeah.
We don't understand these things either,
I
though.
don't even.
I'm like, ooh. But
Advanced.
watching you, and also with the support of my mentors, like I said, I have a show that I do called the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew.
Yes. Streaming live on Facebook,
Yes,
on YouTube.
yes.
Listen.
We're about to have something really big.
Is it
happen on
Saturdays at
Women's
11 a.m.?
Month. Yes, Saturdays
Okay.
at 11 a.m.
Dropping it.
We're about to do something really big with women in March. I'm not announcing it yet, but it's happening. And I'm excited
Can we have an
about
exclusive?
that.
Yes,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, so, okay.
Just give us an exclusive a little bit.
We're excited.
Because you guys are invited.
You
guys
have
are
to
gonna get an
drop
invitation.
the voice. Drop the voice.
So the Ladies First Chit Chat Crew, our mission is we provide a space for women to evaluate where they stand and we inspire them to take action. And we don't pretend to know. We do have a resident expert, my resident life coach and clinical therapist, Lachelle Wooten, who you guys will meet. And we meet every Saturday, and we have women that are in London tuning into our show, and we just have real, like y'all are doing, exactly like y'all, like what y'all are doing right now. We have these real, unfiltered, raw conversations, and I love it. And I introduced Lululemon. I introduced our girls, Ashley and Dana and Jackie, to the girls, and we met with them. And for Women's Month, we have 2 big activities happening. On International Women's Day, we are doing, sponsored by Lululemon, a curated dinner with women, cross-generational women. We're having boomers,
I love
X,
that.
millennials, and Zs come together. And we're going to have, our topic is called Realness is Wellness. And it's a raw, unfiltered conversation. Because what happens is, I've noticed the relationships. I seen with Kristen Chenoweth. She's really close with Ariana Grande. And Ariana talks about how much Kristen has changed her life. Kristen talks about how much Ariana has shifted her life.
Yeah.
I was watching Michelle Obama and Kelly Rowland talking.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
I think about my friend Brittany. I'm technically X. She's millennial, and how she's helped me. My mentors, how they helped me. And we realize when we have real conversation about the shit. Deja, I think that's why so much with you and what you're talking about resonates with me, and how bold you are on Instagram. People need to hear that, because when we don't talk,
Yep.
it's like that's when we're not well.
Yeah.
But when we share, we get resources. My friend Chandra Prophet Audrey is one of my ladies first Chit-Chat crew. She hooked me up with her doctor on how, so I could find out where I was reproductive, where it was. But that's why I'm always hitting you up, like, what you're doing is really shifting our lives as women, as Black women.
Yeah.
As women, period. And when we share, it's an avenue, a vehicle for us for our wellness to improve.
Yeah.
So we're having this raw and filtered conversation, and Lululemon's sponsoring it, and it's going to be special. And what we flesh out during this conversation, we're having a live show at the Apollo Theater.
Oh my
God.
God.
And so,
Major.
We're going to be able to be there, right?
Okay. Major.
Y'all are going to get your
Apollo.
invite. Look, what time is it? I got to talk with Ashley in a couple of minutes.
Listen.
But y'all are going to be at the intimate, and then also y'all are going to be special guests for us at the big one.
Exclusive.
Yeah, so you guys, I was going to fill y'all in later. But
I'm so excited to be in that room.
Yeah, and wait till you meet my ladies. They're amazing. I'm the creator and executive producer of the show.
Yeah.
And I'm known as the visionary. And then there's Lachelle. Lachelle Wooten, we call her the truth and the light. Y'all will love her.
Yeah.
She's like the Yala Von Zahn of her. Actually, she's like amazing. She's gonna have her own show. And then you have Chandra Prophet Audrey. Chandra was Sarabi on Broadway and The Lion King for like 9 or 10 years.
Yes.
What I love about Chandra, she's big advocate of LGBTQ plus community. She and her wife have 2 beautiful children, 2 beautiful little girls. And then we have, we call Chandra the Maven. We gotta change her name because she always tells me she out power to the people. Yes. She's unapologetically great.
Okay.
Unapologetically Black.
Okay.
And then we have Crystal James Goodwin, who I talked to you guys about. We call her everyone's best friend. She always says I'm the girl with at least 2 bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair,
Yes.
And then we have Nikki Boss. She's the bottom line. She's the one that's like, bump, and this is how it is.
Period.
And together we come together, and I think the thing that makes me feel so good about it, we are at first, when I started the show, I was trying to find a white girl. I was trying to find somebody else, because I felt like, and we had people and they were great.
Yeah.
But then when I saw us on the screen, I was like, this is it.
Powerful.
What makes me feel good, we have a diverse group of women that watch our show every day. They said, you get excited when the white girls watch. I said, I do. Girl Carrie, she like, because I'm like, for so many years, we would watch shows and it was just an all-white cast.
Yeah.
And now you have all these Black women that are talking about something, and a diverse group of people that listen to our show.
Yes.
It's just dope. It's dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like, honestly,
the intergenerational, that was one of the biggest, just moments for me at the Wellness Festival was the intergenerational exchange.
Yes. Yeah.
And just having something for everybody. And so, for me, my mentors, I have shout outs to Margot. I love her. I call her Big Sis. She's like, I'm not auntie yet. I'm Big Sis. And similar here, I've learned so much. There's so many lessons I don't need to stumble on, right? I'm a little hard learner sometimes, but it's just a little bit. But there's certain things where it's just being in the presence of and hearing those stories and like getting to experience from her experience that I can like save myself time and energy and just be a little bit wiser. And I think there's this bridge that we feel like there's a disconnect between generations. And I don't know who put it up there, but it's like, I'm so thankful that you're like breaking and chipping it down because like there's so much to be learned on both ends.
Yeah, it is. I'm telling you, I have a 23-year-old that I train. She actually works for Lululemon, named Samara Taylor. I learned from Samara so much. And I thought I was like her big sister. She hates when I said this one day. She goes, Nikki, you are like my auntie. I said, auntie?
Right. You can't be, it's
so
big
I
sis.
guess you could be my child. You know, I'm like,
don't you call me Mama Nikki, okay?
All right. But I learned so much from her.
Yeah.
I learned so much from her. I never thought of, you know, that would be the case. She actually supports, I told her this recently, helps me to continue to be bold.
Yeah.
Talking to y'all helps me to continue to be bold.
Yeah.
Because I would jump out of a plane, y'all, I do have with just my backpack. I do have a parachute now. As a business owner, I'm going to leave this with y'all. Pay your taxes. Make sure your credit good. Get your credit together. If it's a little shady, get some help. Get some help. Even if you can only pay the minimum, pay the minimum. Recognize what your zone of genius is and ask for help.
Yes.
That's what I had to learn.
Yes.
That's what I had to learn. I had to learn that.
You know, and Nikki, as we sit in the fullness of this conversation, because it has been so full, so warm, you continue to teach us. And like you walk in that power. And though you say we motivate you to continue to be bold, you motivate us to stand in our power. You know, and like that's the most beautiful thing. That's the most beautiful thing. And thank you for giving us our flowers in this moment. But we give you your flowers.
Thank you.
Y'all, like, you don't even know.
Yeah.
I see you're sitting in the presence of greatness.
No, we are. No, we
right
are.
now, you know?
And like, if you were, I hope you could like feel it out there, the energy that's kind of like just like pouncing back and forth because it's very energetic here right now.
It is.
It's very spiritual. It's very energetic.
Yeah.
I think I love what you said, Deja. And just to add, where I was seeing this is like, as I get older, like the boldness doesn't stop. Like I don't tone down when I get older. It's like, no, continue. Like your latter years might even be greater than the former. Yeah. Right? I have more wisdom in it, right? As I'm moving forward, like boldly in the things that I've been called to do. So thank you for like being that example.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Like as you get older, you're like vibrating even more. You're not sitting down.
Nope. And that tells us that, you know, in that trajectory for us, as we continue to move on, we can do that too.
Yes.
Oh, y'all are on your way. Like I get hyped. Yes. Like I get excited. You know, when I see y'all, I'm like, hey girls, I'm like, rub it on me.
Yes. Listen, you've been rubbing it on us. Okay.
I'm like, hey, y'all gorgeous and cute. Rub it on me.
But we want to thank you for that. And we want to thank you for always speaking life and pouring life into us. And thank you for the life that you lead. Thank you for being you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being an example for us and for so many out there. And we just want to say we love you. We love you.
Wait, you know what happened to
right. Oh my God. Yes. Nikki, thank you for being on the show with us. We love you.
I love y'all. I'm so proud of you. Like when I say y'all are doing it.
We are doing our best. We are doing our best.
Okay?
Thank you.
And keep doing it.
We will.
Like it's wanted and needed.
Thank you.
And like I mean that. It's wanted and needed.
Thank you.
I'm trying not to cry. Wanted and needed.
Yes.
Mwah.
Oh, that was the realest. That was the realest. How are we going to close?
I know.
Just, we thank you. We love you. We see you. Thank you for seeing us. And with that, y'all, it's been your weekly dose of duality. Thank you for joining us. I'm Deja Riley.
I'm Alicia Ferguson. And you can please tune in, subscribe to all streaming networks, platforms, all the things.
All the things.
All the things.
All the things, baby.
Follow us online on socials.
Yeah.
And until next time.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
I did not have the capacity to be in that space for the days to follow.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, I do intentionally like isolate myself. Even being in a marriage, like there are times where my husband does his thing. I know I told you that we go on solo
trips.
trips.
Which I admired a lot. I was like, that's like goals.
it's so necessary. It's the way that we keep thriving together, you know? So yeah, so I need that quiz.
What's her name? Kate Miller?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Oh
Shout out to Kate.
Kate is the one.
Thank you.
Kate, listen, I have so much to thank her for, but really like my mental state now and where I am energetically.
Yeah.
And how I'm able to actually articulate how I'm feeling and what I want. And being just very assertive. Like she has definitely helped me develop that. If you enjoyed this episode of Dose of Duality, the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with others.
Wow. Oh my